In today's video, guys, I'm gonna share with you a very simple trick that will allow you to defeat the flame domain on all the stages. It doesn't matter if you're in Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, it will work for pretty much every single team as long as you're following the right recipe. Now, this is one of the hardest domains in the entire game, and for whatever reason, it just gets harder and harder every single season. This video is sponsored by Dragonheir Silent God, so I just want to say a big thank you to them for sponsoring today's video and for continuing to support our channel. And if you guys are new around here and you haven't tried Dragonheir Silent Gods, you can download the game by using my link in the description down below or in the pinned comment or by scanning the QR code you see on the screen. Plus, like this, you get to help and support the channel as well, which, by the way, I really appreciate. Now, one thing that I do want to mention, guys, Season 3, the Echoes of the Deep, is bringing in quite a few new things to the game, especially a brand new Elemental Affinity combination. Now, the team that you are going to see in action, guys, it will be mainly Poison and Ice, you know. I don't have a lot of bonuses on my Psychic Core. Right now, I am on a test server, so hear me out. Listen what I'm going to do for the entire season. I have this test server that is basically a duplicate, a mirrored copy of my main account. Now, of course, I have access to all of the heroes here. I have unlimited resources to build whatever heroes I want. That's why I'm doing it in the following way. On my account, I'm building all the crazy good legendaries that I have because that allows me to push higher on the leaderboard to get better rewards overall. But here, I can use rares, I can use whatever heroes I want, and don't give a damn about the leaderboards, okay? So that's why I'm doing it. So my Psychic Core right now is actually behind the one I have on my main account because I haven't started putting points into the accuracy just yet. I will use the exact same gear I have available on my account. My artifacts will be at the same level like on my account. My runes and everything will be at the same level rarity just to reflect our progression, our real progression that we have in the actual game. Okay, so that's how I'll be running test servers from here on, guys. Now, going straight to the flame domain, there is a very simple trick, a very simple strategy that you guys can actually use for your own advantage. If you're fighting fire with fire, radiance with versus fire, because radiance and fire is a elemental combination, you will be at a massive disadvantage. You're going to deal less damage, you're going to get more damage. To be more specific, 90% less, and you're going to take 90% more damage. Now, the team that we are running right here, guys, is Frorbart. We have, of course, Sigrid, we have Hexandra, we have Ina, and we have Alminster. So, yes, Alminster is the only legendary champion that we have in the team, and if you guys have been playing the game for a little while, and you managed to catch the event on, probably you got Alminster. Was pretty straightforward, pretty easy to put your hand on him as a legendary character. When we are talking about builds, and levels, so my heroes right now are at level 95, 99, and I have one at level 100. That reflects exactly what I have in game. Okay, actually in game I have more 99s than I have here, but that's fine. Now, I initially really planned to do this before we unlocked rank 5 on our heroes. The problem is I was not able to do it with a free-to-play friendly team. I've tried many different combos, many different heroes. Was just not working. The boss was just dealing too much damage, okay? So, I preferred to wait to rank the heroes to rank 5 and unlock the negative runes because if no, was just not realistic. It was defeating the purpose of what I was trying to showcase, okay? So right here, how you may notice, we have only epic gear. No legendary gear whatsoever. Now, if I'm bringing in legendary gear, I'm going to make this stage a piece of cake. I want to show you what you can expect while you're progressing through the game. Now, this team had no issues whatsoever at level 90, 89 to defeat stage 4 before. Was a piece of cake. But was struggling on stage 5 because the boss was dealing way too much damage, okay? I have no legendary artifacts. My artifacts are at level 16. I have one at level 20. In-game, you can have them at level 20 as well. And of course, you can have legendary gear in-game. You can have mythical gear. And that's on my personal account. I can have access to all that. I already have tons of legendary gear too. But it's more realistic to use the epic gear because people will be struggling to get legendary gear, and you shouldn't farm for legendary gear just yet. You gotta wait at least 1 week and a half more to move into the double drops for that, you know. So this is what we're using. Let's actually crack on it. I will use food. I will use the defense aura, of course. I need to get all that in. I'm going to use this extra attack to make sure we have enough damage for Sigrid. And talking about timings, I have these ones right here. Now, how you may notice, I have it on Ina. I have it on. Okay, so that means that she will have this for each stage individually. She will use it at 17 seconds on an 18 seconds cooldown. That's why she has the Incense Burner and she has 2 skill haste sets. The boss is on an 18 seconds rotation. We gotta make sure we are cleansing that HP burn. Now, there are different strategies as well that you can use. Instead of having a cleanser, you can have block debuffs, 2 block debuffs heroes, and kind of like block all the burns on your team. Now, the main key right here, guys, is if you may notice, we have 1 gap in between our characters. The burn will do AoE damage, will spread the damage to the nearby ally if they're next to each other, if they're grouped together. You don't want to group them together. Frerbart, once he gets at the boss, will move 1 tile in front, and we're going to have nicely a full empty circle around my Sigrid. That's what you want to do. So like this, the burn will not instantly destroy you. If you're not doing that, you're going to be in pain because the boss will hit so hard that no matter what team you're using, it will get absolutely demolished. You can have full legendary team, legendary gear, and they will get demolished by that burn when the boss is using the ultimate on them. So that is very, very important. Even when the burn ticks, it's still spreading the damage. You don't need the boss to just detonate it because you're cleansing it before the boss detonates. That's the whole idea with Ana, the rare character. She's providing the cleanse. Now, I will give you guys a few different examples of what sort of characters you can use instead of her. I just chose the rare champion, the rare hero, because it's pretty straightforward. Everybody has access to the rare characters. If you're missing 1 or 2, whenever you're getting the chest from the battle pass, the free chest that everybody gets, you can pick the character that you're missing. So that's why rares are actually so good in here, right? Because we can all collect every single rare, no questions asked. So we're not farming the waves very fast. How you may notice, the main damage dealer in here is Sigrid. Nobody else really deals damage. So another thing that you kind of like wanna have on point is to try and have the decrease attack from your characters at a bit of a time gap, because you don't want Frerbart and Elminster to put decrease attack at the same time, because the boss will not have attack down all the time then, and that will again cause you issues. So we're gonna go again over the time settings that I had for the team. It was nothing too spectacular, nothing too crazy on there either, you know. And we have 3 more enemies in here. We have, of course, Dane, and we have the other one right there. I forgot his name actually right now. But Sigrid, she is smacking pretty good. If she gets to drop some damage on the enemies, she's taking no prisoners. Look at that, 80% of the damage dealt by Sigrid, because we don't really have any other damage dealers in here. If I was using the Elminster artifact on Elminster, that would have been much, much better. Now, if you are already in the endgame, guys, you're moving into the endgame for Season 3, for example, you don't really necessarily need a guide for this, because you already managed to defeat it probably with a better team. But if you're still looking to plan ahead on what sort of teams you can use for all this content, this team right here is definitely one of the best free-to-play friendly teams available to defeat this boss for Season 3, for Season 1, for Season 2. Why? Because I'm using 3 characters of the same elemental affinity that are available in all of the seasons. Elminster was available in all of the seasons, but if you don't have Elminster, it's fine. You can bring in a different support character, maybe an Adolphus, maybe an Atheniel to give you shield, you know, and that will help you as well. How you may notice, Ana always clears the burn 1 second or close to 1 second before the boss is using his ultimate skill, which deals fire damage to all enemies, triggering and consuming all burn immediately, which makes boom, detonates that burn, you know. But if you're paying attention to the rest of the skills, even this one right here deals a lot of damage. So check it out if we're gonna be caught off guard without a shield. It's actually gonna be pretty nasty. That's why I had to bring in Hexandra too, to have more healing. It was just not working without without her. I just did not had enough healing to sustain the team. You see, Anna came in with a cleanse, removed the burn from the entire team, so the boss is not dealing big damage on us, which makes a massive, massive difference. You see, look at the damage. 10,000 damage. Now, if I'm grouping the heroes together, they're going to die. They're going to stand absolutely no chance against this boss, you know. So we are taking the boss down. It's almost done, basically. It's like a job done. You do need to use the food for a team like this. If you're bringing in legendary artifacts, if you're leveling them to level 20, if you're bringing in a legendary set on each one of the heroes, guys, it's going to be a walk in the park with this team too. But just to kind of like show you the bare minimum that you need on the team to be able to do this stage on the Flame Domain. How I mentioned, the Flame Domain is the hardest out of all of them, and is every single season the same story. And I've seen so many comments, so many people asking about the Flame Domain. That's why I decided to actually make a guide on it again. I've made a guide in season 1. I just wanted to kind of like refresh on it and show you guys some better options, because in season 1 I actually showed you probably different options. But it's very important on the cleanser to have the incense burner, to make sure you have enough ultimate energy to use the ultimate skill on an 18 seconds cooldown rather than 20. Very, very important. So make sure you're putting your timings on properly. Now, if you want to use different characters, okay, let's just say you don't want to use Anna, for example. You want to use a different one. You can always bring in. I'm gonna show you a few cleansers that can work. Vikuk is one option. He can work pretty well in here, you know. So keep that in mind. If you don't have Vikuk, you might have a different epic that can do it. Now, the problem here is that you might struggle a bit at the boss. The reason for it is she is a melee hero. So I am talking about where is she? There we go. So she's a pretty good option to Etches. With this one, with the ultimate, puts recharge speed penalty on the boss, which, by the way, will mess up the entire 18 seconds cycle. The boss will go to a 23 cycle, if I'm not mistaken. And then dispels one debuff from all allies. So you're going to get a cleanse from Etches as well. She's going to remove the burn, which is going to be massive. The thing is, she's going to be melee together with Fredbar. They will be in close proximity. So she's at a higher risk to die, you know. There are not many cleansers available in the game, guys, you know. So just kind of like keep that in mind. Let me show you the builds in terms of stats, what I have on them. So I need the accuracy on Fredbar to make sure he's putting the decrease attack, as much defense as possible. He's at 3k defense, good HP. The main reason why I want the defense is to ensure that he's providing you with a bit of a healing as well, you know. Like, he's not gonna give you a lot of healing because you're spreading your team around, but you're still getting a little bit. Then you have Sigrid with the Eyeball of the Giant, a double Barbarian set. No crazy stats, right? Like 3k attack, 3k, 3.4k, what's that? 78 crit rate, 120 crit damage. So yeah, what you can expect from epic gear, more or less. You want to have a double skill haste set on Anna with the incense burner, especially if it's not at level 20. If it's at level 20, you don't have to stress about it as much. Hexandra, and then we have, of course, Elminster. A bit of enlightenment to generate a better shield. You need accuracy on him as well. But that is the strategy, guys. How I mentioned, you can use, of course, different characters for this, and you can go in with block debuffs, right? So block debuffs, let's just bring in a character, for example, that can do it. And we don't have anyone from the fire element, anyone from the ice element either. We have him that can do it. As long as your team is under a shield, they're going to be under debuff immunity. Now, the shield can get broken by the damage, so you will lose the debuff immunity. He's not a very good character for this, Gladros, but he's an option. Then, of course, you do have her as an option, Tia. The problem is she only does it for range characters. So your tank will get punished. Now it probably he's probably not going to die, but it's still pretty hard to keep it spot on. And then you have Catherine. It's much harder to make it work. The boss will apply burn multiple times during the run, you know. So you need to have 2 block debuffs heroes, guys, to ensure that you're having block debuffs on your team for the entire duration of the fight. And it's not the most reliable strategy. But that was all for this video, guys. I just wanted to share with you a quick strategy on how you can defeat the Flame Domain on the highest stage with one of the most free-to-play friendly teams available and with bare minimum stats, okay? Because it might get a little bit lower than this to defeat the stage, but not by a lot. Thanks again to Dragonheir for sponsoring this video. And if you guys want to get involved, head over to the link in the description down below to download Dragonheir Silent Gods and come and join me, or scan the QR code you see on the screen. That was all. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.